Guys, welcome. So today what we're going to discuss is how to create a network API connection to GitHub, get users using UIKit. So not Swift UI, UIKit. So we have the main storyboard here. We're not caring about that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the API request. So I want to create a network layer. So I'm going to go ahead and create a file, Command N will create the file. Use a Swift file and say new network manager. Okay, click on create, and we're gonna make this a class because we want to make an observable class. So network manager and then observable object. Okay. And then we're gonna just do exactly the same thing as in Swift UI, very easy. So we're gonna have a publish variable as for the GitHub user, and then we're gonna create a model for GitHub user with struct GitHub user. And first we need to figure out what the API return. Remember, in API returns a JSON. JavaScript object notation. So if I go to here, you can see right here the users will give us a URL, avatar URL. So we need that URL to get the image, and we want the login name, and we want the bio right there, bio. So it tells us like a short descriptions about themselves. That's what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and say let bio. That was a string, right? And then we have a let avatar. So remember, we can actually make this snake case. It was snake case, but we can actually do it non-snake case by using capital U, and then the rest the same. So we have you see that this part has to be the same, only this part has to be different. So a string, and then we had a login and also a string. So that we have all that information. Now we have to make this a codable. Remember, the codable gives us a way to get the data, also download the data, and have it available for us. So GitHub user function get users, so we can do that. And then we're gonna make this an async, and then we're gonna have a throw. Okay, so there you go. So throws an error, and we have the network manager. We should make this optional because it doesn't know, because it's a class has to be initialized. So that's why we make it optional. So now we need to get the users. So what do we need to do? We need to make the request. So in order to make the request, we need a couple of things in the URL. So let's do a guard let URL equals URL and then string, and then let's create a static URL, makes it easier. Static let URL string equals, and let's go and look for the URL right here. As you can see, where the URL, when it makes the request, it gives us a URL, and it should be somewhere here, right there. So I need that URL, Command C, and then paste it here, and then just do this, and then the user is gonna be like that. Okay, so now I pass in the URL string here. URL, because we created a static, so we have to say network manager dot URL string. There you go. Now we're gonna do else return. So we could have like a different error types. Let's create a enum and then make it a GitHub error, just like the other thing. And an error, and in case invalid URL. And then we can just return GitHub error.invalid URL. There you go. So that's that. We don't have to say return, we have to say throw, because we're throwing an error. Because it throws, you can see it just throws. They have to do, whoever calls this, they have to do try catch in order to catch the error, and it's going to return the GitHub error types. So now we have the URL. So what we want to do is now we need to get create a session. So we want to do like a let. So it's going to return a tuple. So I'm going to do response and error. I'm going to do a let here. And then, so now we just go like here and it's a URL session dot data task. So we want the data task that is giving us the async. We have to just share that data task. And then the async is right here. You can see the URL request. I don't want the URL, I want a URL. So I'm going to choose that one. And then you pass in the URL right there. And then that's it. So we need to make this a try. So that's why it's complaining try await, because we're going to do try async. There you go. So we're done with that one. Now we need to get the response, and then look at it as a HTTP URL response, because we want to get whenever you make the request, it sends you a code, and the code has to be 200 and up, 200 to 299. So we're going to do a range. And we're going to check that. So let's get the response first. So that's HTTP response as, and we're going to cast it as a HTTP URL response. And then once we have that, I just want to do guard let, because I want to get that response. If not, then we have an invalid response. So invalid. Create an invalid response, and we're gonna say GitHub error invalid response. Okay, there you go, that's done. And then we need just the else here, and now I want to do a switch on this response and data to okay, this one should be data, and then this one should be error response. It's not error response, and that's why it's doing that. Okay, there you go. So the first one, you made the mistake because the first one returns as a data, and the second one response. Okay, so now I want to switch on a response. So I can switch on a HTTP, they call it response, HTTP response dot status code. So if I do a case, so we want to do a 200 to 299, and that's gonna be a success. So now I can start decoding it. So decoder. So decoding is basically taking the data that the API returns as a JSON object and putting into a model, and the model is my right here. So that's what I'm doing. So say JSON decoder, and then decoder.decode, and then basically type and from, right? So the type is gonna be our GitHub user dot self, because we want to get it's a struct, so we want to get the name of the type of it. And then the data is just the data that we have. And then this also throws, so we have to do a do try catch. So do, and then we're gonna do a try here. And then this one is gonna just give us the GitHub user, and then equals. And then now I can just do a try here. And then that basically is gonna satisfy that. And the switch must be exhaustive because I have to do a default case. And then the default case, so let's make sure we are in, actually that's not where we at, should be here. And then we can actually throw invalid response. Okay, so same thing as the other one. Okay, there you go. So now we have this finished. we've gotten the API response, and we serialized it, and now all we need to do is use it. So in the view controller, we need to do a task. So first we want to create the image and populate the image. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's create an image here, image, view, and then put it here. And then we have to connect it to the code. So let's do, right, that's fine, that's good. So the image is gonna be here, we have the title, and then we have that. So we have to add the title, and it's gonna be a label, and then just drag it over here. And another one will be the bio. So the bio is be here. So just say name, login, and then make this a bio. And then we make this a bold. Okay. And this one is the number of lines 0 because we have to have multiple lines. So this one we can actually arrange, use constraints, and we can do it. So we have a vertical arrangement and a horizontal arrangement. So right, or horizontally, vertically it's going to be like this. Horizontally it's going to be, so horizontal. I'm going to add the constraint, and then I need a width and height for this. So put width and height because it's an image. And so I have the horizontal constraint. I need like leading and
remember to wash your hands.
So I need to know to tell it how far it is from the top. And also we need something for this one. So the content, I wanted to give at least give me 12 on each side, leading and trailing, and then 65 from the top. That's fine, and add that. Okay, then we want to make this come to the middle. Okay, and now we need this one to how far it is from the top. I would say like maybe 20, not too far from the top. Say 50. And then we have this one again, 12 and 12, and that's it. And also add constraint, and we want this also to the middle. Okay, so now we're good with the constraints, and we need to like add this one right here, and we have to connect it to the code. Let's go to the view controller here and open the storyboard on the right, on the left or right, it doesn't matter. So now we connect it by holding control and dragging, and we let go and say our profile image view, and then it has to be strong UI connect. There you go. And then we need the login and bio. So login label, and you just say it's not a type of, okay, something happened there. Okay, cancel, because we don't want it here. So the login, and then put it here, and then has to be login label and UI label strong connect. Okay, do the same thing with for bio. Bio label, and then strong connect. Okay, perfect. So we have that, and we want this to be round. So in order to do that, we have to say profile image view dot layer dot corner radius equals, usually round should be the height of it, profile image view dot frame dot height divided by 2. And then we need to also mask it to the bounds. Layer dot mask to bounds equals to true. So that will make it round. and that's it. And then we need to call the API. So in order to call API, we create a function called function get users. Okay, and then make it as async, and then say task. What you need to do is say do, and then let user equals we have to create the view model here. Let me create that here. So add state, we can do add state objects, but we have to do var view model equals network model equals it's called network manager. Okay, network manager, and then that's it. Network manager. And as a network manager dot GitHub users. There you go. And then we're gonna do try await and now we have the user. It says a constant user for okay, which may be an expect. Okay, so we don't really need, we're not getting the user, so because we have already a user. And then catch, we have a variable, and then we can do the different GitHub error dot invalid response print invalid response, and then catch GitHub error dot invalid URL print invalid URL. And then we also have another catch and print error or localized description. Okay, perfect. So let me go close this. And so we have this so far, the GitHub user, and then what we forgot is the snake case. So let me go ahead and add that. So decoding strategy dot snake case. Okay, so we need to do that because of this invalid avatar URL. Okay, so let's see. So once we make this user, we can actually call this user. We don't need to do task here, and when we call it, we have to do task get users. We have to do again async await get users async. Okay, this is what we just need to do. Okay, there you go. So we have that, and once we get it, we need to populate this async image view. So in order to do that, we use the async image. So since we don't have async image in UIKit, so we have to create another URL request for it. So let's do that. So say func get image, and then we can do image. So we can just copy what we have here. It's almost the same thing. And URL is gonna be the image URL from the user. So you say network manager dot GitHub user dot avatar URL, and we don't need to throw here, so just say return, and then we make this request, and then response return, and we don't need decoder, we just need to get the image out of it. So once we got that, okay, values optional, so okay, so there you go. So then that's what we do, and then now we have to say this async again, and not handled. Okay, so we might have to do again throws then. Okay, so we don't need to throw here. Return. Error through. Okay, so it was saying okay, so what we need to do now is we need to like call this in order to get the image. That's what we need to do. Let's do that. And so once we call this URL, and then we have to say, make sure that we have the wrong data task from URL. Okay, URL, and we'll do this then. Okay, so now we do that. So we have to do a do catch. Okay, so now what we do is we have to make this request, and then the data we have to convert it to an image. So image, so let image equals UI image, and then data, and then pass the data here, and then we can update the thing, and then we have to use dispatch queue because we have to do it on the main thread. Dispatch queue.main.async, and then say self dot, you have to do this self dot profile image view dot image equals image. Okay, perfect. So we have that, and then we can say print error dot localized description. So that's gonna do the image, so we can actually call the image after we get the user, and it's successful. So we can say get image. Try await. So we don't need to say try, just await. Okay, so there you go. So now await and get image. So once we get the user, we get the image, and that's it. So now we need to update the bio label and all that stuff. So let's do that. So we can update those ones after we get it. And let's do bio label dot. Okay, since this is doing a lot of the UI stuff, I would make sure this is a main actor. So go to here and say main actor, so it knows to be on the main thread for any UI stuff. Bio label dot text equals network manager GitHub user dot bio, and then the other text is login label dot text equals network manager dot GitHub user dot login. Okay, that's it. We're done. We're done with. So let's run it and see what's going on. Okay, it's running now. And let's go through it. So we create an IP outlet for bio label, login label, and profile image on the storyboard connected to this view controller. Create a network manager, as you can see, make to download the data and then serialize it, upload it, basically put it into the model. And we're doing this get image, and we call in this API again with the URL. So let's see what's going on. Dot height. Okay, I'll probably make the frame smaller. It's too big. So I can change the constraints here. Height 100 by 100. Height 100. There you go. So now let's try that. There you go. So now we're good. So now basically what we did is we created this network manager. It's we put that main actor because it returns on the UI thread and the main thread. We check the guard if we have invalid URL. We get the response by doing the try await on the URL session. We check the HTTP response is between 200 and 299. We do a serialization. We download it. We change the decoder key coding strategy because we have that snake case for the avatar URL, and we get and then we save the GitHub user. We return any. So we create our own GitHub error and return. On the view controller, we actually create this function, and then returns the avatar URL, and then calls this actually gets the image. So it does the same thing almost. The only thing is, when you do have the data, you have to convert it to an image, and that's it. And then this get user does a catch, and then does try await on the get user. That's it. And the profile image, you have to do a divide by height, divide by 2 to get to circle it, and the master bounds. And also when you get the user, that's when you update the bio label and all that, because then you have the data. And that's it. Until next time.